Hi and welcome children. Today I have come with chapter number 3, data handling. Now what is data? If you see it in the computer language, then data is collection of alphabets, both the cases of alphabet, uppercase and lowercase, and numbers and special symbols like hashtags and symbol and many other symbols which you find it on the signs you find it on the keyboard, right? But here in the case of statistics, data is nothing but collection of information. In computer language, data is something else and information is different from data. Fine or thin differences there between data and information, but in the language of statistics, data is nothing but it's a collection of information. Information मतलब जानकारी. जैसे कि आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पे you can see information about the temperatures of cities as on 2006 in the year of 2006. Different temperatures of different cities you can see. Then Football World Cup scores, then showing data about weekly absentees in a class. Similarly, or in the same way, weekly present students in the class also we can see. We can take the information about the students studying in school, population information. All these things are considered to be, or the information of different such things are considered to be data. Now, managing this data or organizing this information as per our need is considered to be organization or managing or handling of data. Handling of data is being done only when you have some data with you. So before handling data comes collecting data, and for collecting data you should know the reason, or you should know why we need it. Okay, so thus before collecting data we need to know what we would use it for. See, you want to study, whether you want to study the performance of your class in mathematics or science or any subjects, then performance of India in football or in cricket or any other games like kabaddi, etc. Then female literacy rate, then number of children below the age of 5 in families. So there are many such situations where you need to collect the data. After collecting the data comes handling the data or organization of data. Now when you are collecting some information, जैसे यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो, you can see these are the performance of students in English which is being collected by Miss Neelam, class teacher of the class. Okay, and 23, 35, 48, 30, 25, 46, 13, 27, 32, 38. These are the marks scored by different students. Right? From this, what can you make out? The highest score and the lowest marks. So, which is the lowest value in this? You just see it. In that case, you can arrange the numbers, or else you can directly just search out from the collection of marks that 13 is the smallest and which is the biggest one or the highest mark. So here you see 48 is the maximum mark. So from this list of marks you could make out who got least mark and who got maximum mark. So Now we will see if data is being given to you, information about something is given to you, and you are asked to arrange this data in a tabular form, then what are you going to do it? In different ways. Let's see with the example. Here I have the textbook exercise itself. Organize the following marks in a class assessment in a tabular form. Marks are given to you: 4, 6, 7, 5, 3. Like this, there are near about 30 to 50 marks. 30 marks are given, I suppose. Let me see it. 5, then 5, 10, 15 and 20. 20 students' marks are given to you. Below few questions are also given. Which number is the highest? Which number is the lowest? What is the range of the data? And find the arithmetic mean. Now, before we try to answer these questions, I would like to explain you how you are going to arrange these numbers in a tabular form. Here in the question you can see that several numbers are repeated, right? You can see the numbers are repeated. Which numbers you can see? 4 you can see, then here you can see 5 is being repeated, 6 is also repeated. So many numbers are there which are repeated, right? Are you going to write all the numbers again and again? No. Then what are you going to do is, you are going to make a table, and 3 columns should be there. You have to make 3 columns where the first column will indicate what is the table about, right? Here these are the marks. From the question itself you can make out. So marks, and number of students हुआ तो number of students लिखो, marks है तो marks लिखो. कुछ भी जो क्वेश्चन में दिया गया है वही आप वहाँ पे हेडिंग डाल दो. ओके. फिर स्टूडेंट्स है तो स्टूडेंट्स, क्लास है तो क्लास, जो नंबर जिसके बारे में दिया गया है वो लिखो. फिर this is tally marks. Tally marks is going to come common in all the table. Tally marks, what does it say? How do you put the tally marks? See, if 1 is there, then you put 1 line, right? If 2, we put 2 strokes for 2, right? Actually it is to be done here like that. But here what we have written? We have written the marks. We have taken the marks which is given in the question, and minimum is 1 and maximum you can see 9. So we have written 1 to 9 all the marks, right? Now first we see 1. How many times does 1 come over here? Let's see. It's only 1 time. So we have put 1 mark over here, right? And here what does frequency tell? We will come to it little bit later on. Now 2. Next mark is 2. Let's see how many times does 2 come here. Let's see here. 1, 2. So here we have 2 times. 2 times. So we are putting 2 strokes. 1, 2. Let's see 3. 1 time. Only 1 time. 3 has come here only 1 time. So we will put 1 stroke. Now let's move on for the next mark, that is 4. 1, 2, 3. So 3 times. How many strokes? 1, 2, 3. 3 strokes, right? Now let's go for the next number 5. How many 5s are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. How do we represent 5 in tally marks? It's like this. 4 lines straight vertically and the 5th line will go diagonally like this. Okay? When you are representing any number in tally form, then you remember we represent 1 like this, then 2 with 2 strokes, 3 with 3 strokes, 4 with 4 strokes, and 5, we don't write 5 lines but we do it like this. 5th one goes diagonally. फिर 6 है तो ये पहले 5 lines करके then you go for 1 stroke like this. This is 5 plus 1, 6. Group of 5 we do. Then 7, 5 और फिर 2 lines, it is 7. Then 3 lines with 5, 8. Then 4 lines with 5 gives you 9. अगर 10 represent करना है तो 5 and 5, 10. Like this we go on. Okay? This is how tally marks are to be represented. And while counting also, when only 1 stroke is there, then you will write 1. If 2 strokes are there, you will write 2. If 3, then 3. If 4 lines are there, then you write 4. And if this is how it is written, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5th one diagonally, then 5. Such two groups, 5, 5 becomes 10. Okay? So, let's move on without increasing any more confusion. 6. How many times 6 are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 strokes over here. Likewise 7, there are 2 7s, so 2 strokes, 8, 1, 9, 1. As the marks were limited, minimum and maximum were marks, when you just went through the data, you found that only 9 marks were there. So you could write in single line. No class was required. Only one column. In one column you could write the marks because 9 marks were supposed to be written. So you have arranged it like this. Then tally marks, and then comes frequency. What does frequency tell? How many students have scored 1 mark? What does it tell? That in a class, how many students have scored 1 mark? Here it is, 1 student have scored. 2 marks, 2 students have scored. 3 marks, 1. From where did I get these numbers? I got the numbers, this frequency I got from the tally marks. And tally marks from where did you get? You got it from the data given. These given marks, how many times they are repeated in the data that we have expressed in the tally marks. And after that, on counting, we get the frequency, and that tells you the number of students scoring the respective marks. Right? 4 marks, 3 students have scored. 5 marks, 5 students have scored. 6 marks, 4 students have scored. 7 marks, 2 students have scored. 8 marks, 1 student. 9 marks, 1 student. So, we have organized or arranged the given marks in a tabular form. This is how you have to arrange the data in a tabular form. Now, let's move on to the questions asked. Which number is highest? Which number is highest? Here 9 is highest. Okay? Which number is highest, or which mark is highest? First answer is 9. Then next question, which number is lowest? 1. 1 is the least one. Okay? This is highest value. This is lowest value. Then what is the next question? What is the range of the data? Here we come to this term range. डेटा का एक रेंज होता है, वो आपको कैसे पता चलता है? यू कम टू नो फ्रॉम द हाइएस्ट वैल्यू एंड द लोएस्ट वैल्यू. रेंज ऑफ एनी डेटा will be equal to highest observation or highest value minus lowest value. Highest value minus lowest value, 9 minus 1 gives you 8. That is the range. So 8 is the range of the given data. Okay, now we move on to the fourth question. Find the arithmetic mean. The first central tendency which we are going to study is arithmetic mean, जहाँ पे आप एवरेज फाइंड करोगे और ये अरिथमेटिक मीन जो आपको मिलेगा आफ्टर कैलकुलेटिंग दिस आंसर will come between this range, is going to come between the highest and lowest value. If the answer doesn't come between this, then your answer is incorrect. You can make assumption, then you have to calculate it again. How do we calculate arithmetic mean? ये आप arithmetic mean कह सकते हो या तो फिर simple mean भी आप कह सकते हो. MEAN, mean. Okay, and the formula of calculating mean is sum of all observations divided by number of observations. Sum of all observations मतलब आप ये जो observations है दिए गए हैं इनको आप ऐड करोगे, सभी को आप ऐड करोगे और फिर उसको डिवाइड करोगे. कितने observations है मैंने कैलकुलेट किया था पहले ही. I had calculated at the starting of the question itself. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. Here I have calculated the number of observations like this. It's 20, whereas from the table you can easily calculate out. If you add up the frequency, that will give you the total number of observation. That should give, if I have not mistaken, if I have not done any mistake in calculating the tally marks, then your answer will be correct. 1 plus 2 3, 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 5 12, 12 plus 4 16, 16 plus 2 18, 18 and 2 20. So directly adding the frequency which you have obtained in the table, you can add up and tell the number of observations. So 20 is the number of observations. So that's what I have done. I have added just to show you. I have done it like this. Instead, you can write this formula. This calculation you can do roughly in the right hand side margin, add up, and finally you write down the sum like this. Okay, from here. On adding all these numbers, I got 100 divided by 20, I got 5 marks. On an average, the class has scored 5 marks, and so 5 you can see it is within the range of lowest and highest observation between 1 and 9. Is that clear? So along with the solution of the first question, question number 2 of exercise 3.1, we have understood organizing the data or handling the data if you are asked to arrange it in a tabular form. So we did that also. We have arranged the data in tabular form where you require 3 columns: class, students, marks of which the data is, then tally marks, and then frequency. After arranging it, if the data is in larger number, then you arrange in classified form, class form. That we will do it in the next exercise. This is the initial way we did, and we also answered the question. While answering the question, we have come across highest value, lowest value, and how to calculate range of the data, and finally calculating mean you have studied. Now, rest of the questions of the exercise is based on this. Calculate the mean. Okay? Question 3. Find the mean of the first 5 whole numbers. Whole numbers, first 5, that is from 0 we start. We have to consider 0 because first 5 it is said. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In place of whole numbers, if natural number is given, then you will start from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So you should be aware of you should be knowing the different types of numbers: natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, right? So here it is given first 5 whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have to find mean of it. Nothing to do, write down the data as I have written like this. First 5 whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then mean is equal to sum of all observations divided by number of observations. This formula you have to write compulsorily. Then you write down is equal to 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 divided by how many observations? 5. Divide by 5. 10 divided by 5 gives you 2. Likewise, you move on to this fourth question. A cricketer scores the following runs in 8 innings. 8 innings scores given to you. First inning 58, second inning 76, third inning 40. Likewise, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. 7th inning he or she scored 0. Okay, and in the 8th inning scored 100. Find the mean score. What you have to find? You have to find out the average score or the mean score. Same way, mean is equal to sum of all observations divided by number of observations. Add up all the numbers, divide by 8 because 8 observations are there, and on adding I got 400. 400 divided by 8 gives you 50. 50 runs. Scores of the cricketer in 8 innings is 50 runs. Similarly, I have solved out question number 5, and here you can see there are 4 questions under 5th question. Following table shows the points of each player scored in 4 games. Player A, B, C, there are 4 games: game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4. A has scored 14, 16, 10, 10. B has scored 0, 8, 6, 4, and C has scored 8, 11. Third game didn't play, and fourth game 13. Now there are several questions. 4 questions are there. First question is find the mean to determine A's average number of points scored per game. So per game A average will be, to find out average you are going to add up 14, 16, 10 and 10. So that's what it is done. How many games are there? 4 games are there. So divided by 4 because as per game it is given. 12.5 is the average score of player A. Question number 2 under that is to find the mean number of points per game for C. Would you divide the total points by 3 or 4? Why this question has arisen? Because C player has not attempted game 3. So for player C, there are only 3 games, 8, 11 and 13 points he or she has scored. So to find out, while finding out its average, what am I going to do is I am going to divide it by 3 because here only you need not find out the mean, only it is asked to find the mean. What would I do? Would I divide the total by 3 or 4? Only we have to answer is to find the mean number of points per game for C, divide the total points by 3. Why? because player C had played only 3 games. Okay, then we move on to the third question. B played in all the 4 games. How would you find the mean? You will find the mean by dividing the total points by 4 games, because he has attempted the first game though he has scored 0 in that. Okay, now last, who is the best performer? Now looking at the points and the number of games played, you can easily make out player A has scored better or is the best player. Marks obtained by a group of students in science test given to you. In that, under that you have 3 questions to solve. Highest and lowest marks obtained by the students. You just have to go through, scan the numbers and tell the highest marks 95, lowest marks 39, right? Then next question is about range of marks obtained, highest marks minus lowest marks, 95 minus 39, 56. And the third question is about finding out the mean marks. Add up all the marks and you will get 730 divided by 10, because there are 10 students marks given to you. 73 marks. Mean marks is equal to 73. Here you can see 7, 8 and 9. Question number 7, 8 and 9 is for self practice. And yes, workbook exercises are for your self practice. Yet I have not got any response from your side regarding the doubts of your workbook. Please don't wait for me to solve out the sums for you. In maths, practice makes students perfect. Is that clear? By practicing only, you come across the problems and then only you will be able to solve out by consulting me again. You can find out where you are lagging behind and how much more practice do you require. So please, even the test papers, all the students have not attempted just by simply telling we are not able to. That is not the solution. So practice the workbook exercise, because in test, when we are going to sit to evaluate you, we are going to set papers from workbook as well as textbook. So do practice it, and if you have any doubt, send me the questions. I will solve out for you in the next video. Our next video is going to be about the other 2 concepts, mode, MODE mode. We have studied mean, and in the next exercise 3.2 we are going to arrange the data in a tabular form. Okay, till then, stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.